Good morning. My name is Charlie Hoke, and my pronouns are he, him, and I have the joy of serving on your board of trustees, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you, and we invite you to fill out one of the visitor forms that are in the pews. Everyone present in the sanctuary today is welcome to join in-person community time immediately following the service. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold up pluralism as one of our core values. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Starting next Sunday, May 24th, we will switch to our summer schedule, during which we have only one service at 9 a.m. We are glad you're with us here today. Let's take a moment to greet one another.
Good morning. I'm Emily Mace. I'm the intern minister here, and our chalice lighter this morning probably needs no introduction, Reverend Emily Gage. Emily is the one in the rainbow stole who leads us so beautifully every week. Please join for our chalice lighting words. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open minds, the loving hearts, and helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair.
Good morning. My name is Madonna Thielen. My pronouns she, her, and I'm happy to be your worship assistant today. Today is Flower Sunday, a day that reminds us to share life and beauty with each other, even in the midst of the violence and ugliness that is present in our world. Today, we honor the river of life flowing down on us in the beauty of each flower, in the life of each other. Norbert Čapek, the founder of this feast, knew that especially in the midst of suffering and violence, we must remind ourselves and each other of beauty. Norbert honors human suffering by reminding us that beauty is always alive in every soul, in every heart, in every flower. This flower celebration reminds me of my brother Peter, who was a gifted gardener and raised magnificent flowers. Peter shared his gifts not only with our family, but also with our neighbors, helping them plant and grow brightly colored flowers. He took armloads of gladiolas to my parents' church. He kept rose bushes alive through tough Wisconsin winters. With the help of my dad, he built a greenhouse so he could raise orchids and winter tender flowering plants. Peter was creative, compassionate, expressive, flamboyant, talented, and gay. He knew both beauty and suffering as he lived with homophobia and with AIDS. He knew that beauty holds us up through suffering, through rejection and discrimination, and ultimately through death. At his memorial, surrounded by beautiful flowers, we played his favorite Whitney Houston song, "I Will Always Love You." Let these flowers which we share today be a reminder of the beauty and eternity of love. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here. Come, let us worship together. Now I'd invite you to stand as you are able and join in singing our congregational song number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. And you'll see some instruments in front of you. Please feel free to play along.
Please join in reading the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Good morning. My name is Vanessa Crowder. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve on your spiritual care team. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. Sharing the joys and sorrows of our lives with each other is one of the ways we embody that love within our congregation. Those attending in person may share your joys and sorrows in the binder right outside the doors to the sanctuary. You can also email your joys and sorrows to us at spiritualcare@unitytemple.org. If you'd like to talk with someone about what is on your heart, please feel welcome to contact the spiritual care team. We're here to listen and sit with you in times of both joy and sorrow. Here are the joys and sorrows that were shared this week. Unity Temple member Mary Garrett died on Saturday, May 9th at the age of 94. She joined Unity Temple in 1975 and was surrounded by the love of friends and family until the very end. A celebration of life will likely take place this fall. Details will be forthcoming. And Katie Bartholomew had gallstones and then had her gallbladder removed a few days ago, but she is healing well. And John Tanderit shares that he is proud to say that Wilbur Wright College recognized him for 15 years of service teaching physical sciences. We know that we hold some joys and sorrows in silence. We invite anyone who has a joy or a sorrow to come forward and drop a stone into one of the bowls of water at one of the 4 stations around the sanctuary. This ritual represents a mingling of our collective joys and sorrows, and we invite you to engage in the spiritual practice of silence during this ritual. Let us begin.
As we let the sound of the stones echo through this space, I invite you into a time for prayer and meditation. Taking a few deep breaths and letting your body settle into the space in which you are sitting. Spirit of life, holy mystery, God of many names and no name at all, be with us here in this day, in this sacred time and sacred space, as we celebrate and feel our way into the unfolding of life and its beauty and generosity. Spirit of life, today we celebrate and are reminded of the unfolding of new life, how life unfolds in the spirit of each baby and each child flourishing into adulthood. How we are reminded of this in the roses that we will be giving to the children we are dedicating today. And how we're reminded of this flourishing in the flowers that we will exchange in our flower communion. That what starts as something tiny grows and flourishes into something beautiful. But Spirit of life, we know that we carry burdens. We come here carrying burdens and sorrows, that all is not always well in our hearts and not all is always well in the world. That as we speak, there are those who do not hold our values of justice and pluralism and transformation and equality and interdependence. That in the world there are so many forces seeking to undermine those values. Encourage us today and every day on the path of helping those values flourish in the world, flourish like flowers so that all may know the strength of love that lies at the center. And hold us today, as always, in our quiet and individual griefs. Uplift us in our joyous celebrations and remind us that even the joys and griefs and the worries and fears that are held deep in the quiet of our own hearts are always held here in the beauty of community, our burdens lessened and our joys ever magnified. Amen, Ashe, and may it ever be so. Blessed be.
We have a joyful occasion today to celebrate the dedication of 10 children among us today, 4 at the first service and 6 at the second service. So I invite those families to come forward. Okay, I'm going to introduce everybody. We are going to dedicate Wesley and Leo
and Clara. And this is their mom, Carolyn. And we're going to dedicate Akash. And these are Akash's parents, Nikhil and Sheena. And a special shout out to Leela, Joseph, and Sheen, who are watching online. Throughout human history, people have gathered, as we do now, to welcome those born into our midst and to assure their parents of our love and support. We do this in recognition of the eternal mystery of ongoing life and the need we all have to belong to a family and a community of mutual assistance.
And this is a charge to the parents, so to you, Carolyn, Nikhil, Sheena. So your affection and your devotion will cradle these children for years to come, but the larger world will offer no such assurance. You must help them find their own strength to face it, and each to be a real person in their own right. You would have them know deeply their own worth, give them moral support and guidance, and you would offer the joys of safe but challenging communities of faith, of family, of fellowship. And so we charge you to prepare Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash to be adults, aware of the world as it ought to be, aware of the power of dedicated individuals to change the world's course, and aware of the power of love to redeem and transform, if that love has courage as well as affection. So, Carolyn, Sheena, Nikhil, you will dedicate yourselves this morning to the sacred responsibility of parenting your children and to that way of life that will fill their hearts with memories, with gladness, with love, and wisdom. And if you will do that, please answer, we will.
We will. We're going to bless each of you with the 4 elements. Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash, we're going to first bless you with water, which is symbolic of the spirit of life as it touches all shores and nourishes all people. The water that we're going to use is from our congregation's water communion ceremony, from many sources and many journeys. It comes with our wisdom and stories to help you on your way. We bless you with water, with the prayer that you will grow in reverence for our common humanity. I'm gonna grab it over here. Okay, I'm gonna put some on your forehead, okay? Leo, okay. Clara. All right, there you go. And we will.
Is this on?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. And now we will bless you with earth, symbol of strength and groundedness. We pray that each of you, like all who dwell on earth, will know your body is good. May you use your sacred power and agency to make yourself fully at home in your sacred body.
We're going to bless you with fire from our chalice. We're not going to set you on fire. We're just going to show you the fire. Fire is the sign of our faith, and we offer it with the prayer that you will honor your passions, your deepest convictions, and that you will let your inner light shine brightly.
And lastly, we will bless you with air, with the sustenance for the breath of life. You will be inspired by the sparks of the divine, and may you honor this inspiration and in time be the source of inspiration for others. I think this is my favorite part.
Everybody probably wants a little bit of that. And we're going to give each of you a flower, unique in all its natural beauty, separate and distinct from all other flowers in creation, to express symbolically our hope that all your life long you each will unfold and blossom just as you must in all of your own unique and natural beauty. We have removed the thorns to symbolize the way that, especially when you are young, your parents and the grown-ups around you will help protect you and keep you safe as you learn and grow. There you go.
So Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash, we welcome you into the midst of our keeping and into our hearts. May you always know that whoever you are, wherever you are in your life journey, you are welcome here. In our faith tradition, the primary blessing a child receives is not from a religious leader, but from the religious community that helps sustain them. And so I invite all of you to join us up here in dedicating these children by turning to the responsive reading insert found in your order of service.
But first, I have a question for the young people gathered here. All of these children gathered here are now officially part of our church community. Will you help them and play with them and learn and grow with them? If so, I want you, of whatever age you are, to say, "We will."
We will.
We will.
And I invite you now to join in the words of our dedication responsive reading. It is our faith that each child is one more redeemer. For each new life that comes to us as a gift and makes its demands, exacts our attentiveness, and blesses us.
Are you ready to dedicate yourselves to Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash, and to assisting their families?
We dedicate ourselves to ensuring that Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash are raised in the spirit of love.
Will you strive to love and cherish Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash in times of struggle as well as gladness?
Wesley, Clara, Leo, and Akash, we will love and cherish you always.
We acknowledge the divine spark within each child. May we be worthy guardians of these young lives. May we build a community in which they will grow old, surrounded by beauty, embraced by love, and cradled in the arms of peace. Amen. Hooray!
All right. All right. So each week, Unity Temple splits the offering evenly. One half supports the programs and mission of our congregation, and this week the other half, in a way, stays within the community through Unity Temple's Abundance Fund. This fund was created to provide short-term financial assistance to members and friends of Unity Temple UU congregation. The fund is not used for any other purpose. Requests for assistance can be directed to one of the ministers. So this is part of Unity Temple's call to support one another in times of need. And Reverend Emily and I have the privilege and know how much this fund's confidential assistance has helped people. And we are deeply grateful for the generosity that makes this fund feel, well, abundant. May the gifts we give bring transformation to us and to the world. So, this is the time where we invite children to come forward and be up here. And this week, we actually have a job for you. So, really love to have you come up. And I'm going to, so if you wish, no pressure, but kind of hoping. So today I'm going to tell a story that we tell every time at the Flower Communion service, because it's a story we want to remember each year at this time. And I'm going to use a lot of the words that Reverend Emily uses each year to share this story, and then I have a few embellishments of my own. So today, Flower Communion, this is one of the rituals that is uniquely Unitarian and now Unitarian Universalist. So the first Flower Communion was held 103 years ago. And I'm remembering today that this is like my 33rd one, so almost a third of those I've gotten to be part of. It was a celebration that was started by a couple named Norbert and Maya Čapek in what was then called Czechoslovakia. Today it's called the Czech Republic. So the Čapeks first found Unitarianism in the United States. Norbert and his family left Czechoslovakia during World War I because it was not safe for him to speak and write all the ideas that he had. They were looking for a congregation where they knew that their questions and their ideas would be welcome. So their kids helped them find a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and they found it because their children loved coming to the religious education program at the UU congregation in Orange, New Jersey. So in 1921, kids lead the way. That's what we're saying here. So in 1921, the Čapeks moved back to Czechoslovakia, which by that point was free and independent, and they started a Unitarian church in Prague, the capital of Czechoslovakia. And they did such an amazing job that within a few years, the congregation had 3,200 members, the largest in the world. And it started other congregations they did in Czechoslovakia, and soon there were 8,000 Unitarians in Czechoslovakia. The church, though, was very plain, so they didn't have any decorations. They didn't have a chalice. They had these wooden chairs to sit on that were really uncomfortable without cushions. And worst of all, they didn't even have coffee and cookies and goodies after the service. So they just came, they listened to Norbert Čapek, and then they said hello to each other and left. So in 1923, Čapek wanted to create something of beauty in the church that would connect everyone to each other. And it was springtime. And so as he looked all around him in the spring in Prague, he saw all these beautiful flowers, just like I bet we're seeing as we walk around our neighborhoods. He thought about their beauty and how the flowers made him feel, and he got the idea for this flower ritual. So there was a lot of need for healing in 1923 because the world had just had a terrible war and a terrible pandemic right after the war. Everyone was still recovering from the traumas of those things. So he asked everyone in the congregation, bring a flower with you next week. And the congregation, being Unitarians, had lots of questions. Like, what color flower? What size? Any particular flower? What should we do? So Chapek said, choose whatever kind you like. And that day, so many years ago in 1923, people brought all kinds of flowers. And when they saw the flowers all gathered together, like we have up here, they thought about how the gathering of flowers is like the gathering of people, all different colors and shapes and sizes, all needing different kinds of care, and each one beautiful, important, and special, just like each person, right, is beautiful, important, and special. And each one of us can feel and heal and connect the world just like flowers can do. So that is the story of the first flower communion. But that's not the end of the story and I want to tell you how we're celebrating it here today. So not long after that flower communion in 1923, another difficult and scary time came to Europe. The Nazis seized Czechoslovakia, and it became dangerous once again to speak out. Norbert Chapek was arrested for speaking out against the Nazi occupiers, and when he was released, he was told, so don't speak out again. He refused, he kept speaking, he was arrested again, and this time was sent to a terrible prison camp named Dachau, where he and 1 million other people were killed. But that was not the end of the story either, because Maya had escaped to the United States, and she shared the flower communion with her new congregation in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and from there it spread. Almost every UU congregation in the United States, and in many other parts of the world, and the Czech Republic, which is now where Prague is located, they kept celebrating it, and then people in the United States celebrated it, and from here it went over to Transylvania and to Northeast India and the Philippines, and so it is all over the world today. So a year ago, I had the honor of preaching at Chapek's church in Prague, and here's some really good news. They now have a social hour after the service. And I hesitate to share this, but they have lattes and cappuccinos. So anyway, and delicious treats. And so that tradition probably came from the United States there, just as the flower communion came from there to here. We are a global Unitarian Universalist faith. And when we do flower communion every year, we remember Maya, we remember Norbert's story, we remember that his story did not end at Dachau. The Nazis thought it did, but it didn't. And we remember their courage and compassion and their welcoming, inclusive spirit. And we celebrate, as they did, the beautiful and healing power of flowers.
So in your blue insert in the order of service, there is a litany with words for Norbert Chapek, and those are words that they used in the congregation in Prague to consecrate their flowers, and that kind of really just means to help make them extra special, because flowers are already special. And your words are simply, may these flowers be blessed. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask your blessing on these messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and in devotion to your holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of your most precious gifts. Okay, so now is when I'm going to need some helpers. And each helper can take a basket of flowers and help pass them out around the sanctuary. Would anybody like to help? Yeah, come on up. Yay. Here, Clara. Clara, do you want to go down to the choir down there? Gosh, here, do you want to pass them out right here? Leo, do you want to go up some stairs? Pass out some flowers. Okay. Maybe there, that way. Is somebody going down there? I saw your little faces here. Lots of good choices. Did you take one for yourself? Everybody got a flower?
I've got a river of life flowing down on me, makes the lame to walk and the blind to see. Opens prison doors, sets the captive free. I've got a river of life flowing down on me. I've got a river of life flowing down on me. This river makes the lame to walk.
It feels to me, in these long, gorgeous spring days, that the world is just showing off. The greens are incredibly luscious. The colors of the flowers are brilliant. The designs so complicated and intricate. The seeds so full of potential. Several times in the past week, I've walked by a patch of lilies of the valley, caught by their delicious aroma, and wondered at the overflowing generosity of the universe. So many gifts just offered up to us with abandon and joy. Last week, or maybe the week before, there was a double rainbow in the sky, perfectly framing our backyard. I mean, how lucky are we to be alive in this day and in this moment? I feel certain that you have had moments, or could have, when you just said to yourself, wow. I hope so, anyway. These are the sorts of days when I am walking my dog and he is sniffing along, and then all of a sudden he throws his body down into the grass. I imagine that the thick, lush green carpet feels good on his belly. And sometimes even he rolls around and around in it in a kind of full body immersion. Every single time I think of the lines from Mary Oliver's poem, I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down in the grass, how to kneel down into the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. The beauty of spring, if we let it, demands our attention and asks us to pay attention to beauty and joy and nourishment and sustenance. And if we have not done this on our own, here we are at our annual flower communion service, where our gathering of this amazing variety of plant life is front and center. Each of us is holding some evidence of the glory of nature. Take a moment to drink it in as deeply as you can. I grew up Unitarian Universalist, and so as far back as I can remember, my year has always been punctuated by being part of the flower communion service. Because I've been part of such a service in different times and different places, it's part of how I understand how life is supposed to be. We come together and we celebrate the many different kinds of flowers and people and how each of us is important and special and beautiful, and that we are even more beautiful all gathered together. And this year, as it has gotten closer, I have been thinking about the flowers and also about the very story of flower communion and about Norbert Čapek. I've been thinking about how in a dangerous time Norbert Čapek chose courage. He chose speaking out against things that were wrong, even when it was risky, even when it put him in danger. That is always an important story, but it is a particularly important story for us to remember today when so many people in power are hurting others in all sorts of different ways. Their power depends on people not speaking up and challenging them. They can only be stopped by other people standing up for what is right. And so, just as we carry on the tradition of flower communion, it is also our job to carry on the tradition of speaking the truth, of being courageous, of sharing what we believe, of protecting and caring for each other, even when it is scary to do so. Norbert Čapek spoke out during World War II, and he was arrested and eventually killed, and I'm sure he did not want to die. And he said, "It is worthwhile to live and die courageously for sacred ideals." I think he meant that he knew his choices to help the world were really important, no matter what happened. Sometimes when I think of the flower communion service, I think about how this gathering of flowers and people will never be exactly the same gathering ever again. The flowers are cut flowers, and so they will wilt after a while, and next year we will be at least a slightly different group of people for all sorts of different reasons, some good, some bad, mostly both. And so I am reminded of that great important lesson: be present in this moment and soak it all in. We don't want to miss it, whatever it brings. That Mary Oliver poem that I think of when our dog Lloyd rolls around in the grass continues on. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I love this question. What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Yesterday morning, as I was walking through Taylor Park, I happened by a gentleman who was sitting on a bench looking out over the fields and toward the horizon of the east. It's a great spot to sit and pay attention. We struck up a conversation, and in the course of our talking, he told me about some sorrows he was carrying. I was reminded again how much each of us holds in our minds and hearts, often without other people even knowing, and that it always feels like a gift when someone shares those tender things. Leroy, that was his name, said he had come to the bench to find some peace in the midst of the grief he held. We talked some more, and I walked away thinking about how life is full of both hard and beautiful things, and about how life is made better when we share them both. Sometimes the world shows off by offering up gifts of nature, and sometimes it offers us unexpected encounters with people that change us in some way, too. How lucky we are to be alive right now, here in this very moment, part of a religious tradition where we, for the first time, or the 50th time, or some other number, get to celebrate flower communion. Part of a tradition that makes sure we pay attention to some of the beauty of this world, a tradition that calls us to live courageously, that reminds us that all of the gifts and challenges of life are jumbled up together. We are lucky indeed. May we soak in the beauty around us. May we connect with one another. May we be reminded what a wild and precious life this is. And so, may it always be. I invite you to rise and body your spirit. We're going to sing Siyahamba, which has a verse in Zulu and it has some verse in English, and it is best if you sing out with gusto and glory and make as much noise as you want to with all of the instruments that we have.
Siyahamba kukenyen kwen kos. Siyahamba kukenyen kwen kos. Siyahamba kukenyen kwen kos. Siyahamba kukenyen kwen kos. Siyahamba, siyahamba, siyahamba kukenyen kwen kos. Siyahamba.
These words are from Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
So much for trying to change things.